Good morning, hello and how are you? I'm just fine, and I hope that you are too. Good morning, friends. Let's do our calendar. Our month is May. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. After 11 comes 12. 12 looks like this. 12. Yesterday was Monday. After Monday comes Tuesday. And our year is 2020. Today is Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. That is our date. Our season is still spring. And the weather, let's see, it's cloudy again today. So we can just leave that right there. A cloudy spring day. Something that happens a lot in the spring is that it rains. So I wonder if it will rain today. Let's find out. All right. We have been talking about countries in North America. And some of the countries that we've been talking about, they speak Spanish there. So last time we started counting in Spanish. Remember, we learned how to count to 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Would you like to keep going? Okay, we'll learn some more today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We counted to 6. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can count to 6. That's exciting. Okay, let's count to 6. And when we get to 6, we will change to look at our North America map. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we are at our North America map. So far, the countries that we've learned about in North America are Greenland, Canada, Mexico, and Belize. Today we will learn about this country that's right next to Belize and right next to Mexico. This country is called Guatemala. Guatemala is one of the countries in Central America. It has beaches. You know that because it's next to the ocean here. It has volcanoes and forests and mountains. One thing that Guatemala is very known for are their beautiful fabric, the colorful textiles. This book I have called Guatemala Rainbow has beautiful pictures that were taken in Guatemala by Gianni Viacchetto. I wanted to show you some of the pictures so you can see how beautiful their work is. So these fabrics are made in Guatemala. Notice how there's lots of colors and different designs. This picture shows some other colorful fabric and then some people with long hair. They braided fabric into their hair. Here are some babies being carried using the beautiful fabric. Here are some Guatemalan men wearing their beautiful colored fabric and straw hats. And here's one more picture that just shows all the colors. Aren't they gorgeous? These are also from Guatemala. These are called worry dolls. Children sometimes use these when they're feeling worried or they have some troubles. Worry dolls. See how they have similar colored fabric to the fabric in the book. The legend of the worry doll is if you have a problem, before you go to bed at night, you whisper to your worry dolls all your problems, and then you put them under your pillow and go to sleep. And then when you wake up in the morning, your troubles should be gone. Isn't that a sweet story? All right, to learn some more about Guatemala, let's read a book. This is Guatemala, colorful, busy, warm. Guatemala is a country in Central America. More people live there than in any other country in Central America. More than 15 million people live in Guatemala. Guatemala has many beautiful mountains. It also has volcanoes. A volcano named Fuego sends out some smoke every day. See the little puff of smoke? There are rainforests in Guatemala. They get almost 200 inches of rain a year. Jaguars and many other animals live in the rainforests. Here's a bird called a quetzal. Quetzals. They live in the rainforests. These birds have tail feathers up to 3 feet long. That's a very long tail feather for a bird. Tikal stands in a rainforest. A group of people called the Maya built this city about 2,000 years ago. Nobody lives in Tikal anymore. However, today, Maya people live all over Guatemala. The Maya built giant stone buildings at Tikal. Visitors come to see these buildings. See how tall that is? And this is so amazing because they built these before anybody had invented any sort of big machines. They were very creative and very smart to be able to build these buildings. The Spanish came to Guatemala in the 1500s. They ruled for 300 years. Today, most Guatemalans are part Spanish and part Maya. The Spanish built many churches. Some of the churches are still used today. Mayan languages and Spanish are spoken in Guatemala. In Spanish, the word for hello is hola. The word for goodbye is adios. More than 20 Mayan languages are spoken in Guatemala. About half of Guatemalans live in cities. Guatemala City is the largest. It also is the country's capital. Outdoor markets are popular in towns and cities. People can buy fresh food at the markets. They can also buy handmade crafts such as blankets and wooden masks. The weather in Guatemala is warm all year. Many kinds of crops grow in the warm weather. Farmers grow corn, beans, and other foods. Farmers also raise pigs and cows. About half of Guatemalans work on farms. This person is picking coffee beans. Some Guatemalan crops are sold in other countries. Coffee and bananas from Guatemala are sold in the United States. Tortillas are a popular food. They are thin, round, and made of corn. Guatemalans eat tortillas with most meals. Tortillas can be folded around meat or eaten plain. Many people also like to eat sweet bread called pan dulce. Guatemalans celebrate lots of holidays. People go to cemeteries on All Saints' Day. They honor those who have died. They put flowers on graves. Some people celebrate this day by flying huge kites. So these are the big kites, these colorful fabric. And then there are some flowers that they've placed on the graves of those that they love. What do people do for fun? Many play sports. Soccer is very popular. In Guatemala, soccer is called football. All right. The end. Okay, we're going to read one of my favorite books called The Napping House. This is by Audrey Wood and illustrated by Don Wood. For friends who got the last activity box, you also have a puppet making kit for this book. So I'm going to tape my puppets on the wall so I can hold the book. But at home, maybe you can use your puppets while I read the story. There is a house, a napping house, where everyone is sleeping. There's my napping house. And in that house there is a bed, a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Here's my cozy bed. And on that bed there is a granny, a snoring granny, in a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that granny there is a child, a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that child there is a dog, a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that dog there is a cat, a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Look at that picture. And on that cat there is a mouse, a slumbering mouse, on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that mouse there is a flea. Can it be? A wakeful flea, on a slumbering mouse, on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. A wakeful flea who bites the mouse. Who scares the cat, who claws the dog, who thumps the child, who bumps the granny, who breaks the bed, in the napping house where no one now is sleeping. The end. If you have your puppet making kit at home, I hope that you'll retell that story for your family. All right, let's do our sign language. A, B, K, D, E, G, I, J, K, U, sorry. O. Today we will learn So remember, is when your thumb is all the way over here in between your pinky and your ring finger. To do your thumb goes right in the middle. I had an a bouncing letter It was some nail polish I borrowed for a friend. I used it on a neighbor. I used it on a nurse. I used it on my friend, and she put it in her purse. So we have nail polish, like you're painting your nails. Neighbor, so it's like next door to my house. Next door neighbor. And nurse, you tap your wrist. I had an a bouncing letter It was some nail polish I borrowed from a friend. I used it on my neighbor. I used it on a nurse. I used it on my friend, and she put it in her purse. All right, remember when we read that book on Guatemala? That book taught us how to say hello in Spanish and goodbye in Spanish. To say hello, you say hola. To say goodbye, you say adios. So today, let's all say adios. 1, 2, 3. Adios.